Look, a little bit of drama. Ooh, you guys like drama? I like drama. Famous YouTuber caught ruining anime localization. Ooh. One Piece drama? We're
During
getting to
all the
that a bit
Niji
later.
Sanji stuff going on lately, there's been another situation also
There's so much Niji stuff. It's insane.
unfolding, one that's been kind of going under the radar. So let's take a look at this one. It involves a YouTuber and also a localization. And this
Oh, I
is
heard
by
about
Niche Gamer.
this.
Let's take a look at what they got to say. Update. The changes to Lovely Complex allegedly didn't make it to the final cut. Read here. Let's get the rest of the context first. So they say a freelancing contractor who worked on the English dub for Lovely Complex released a post boasting about his contempt for the original show and all the changes they made. In a now deleted / privated post, you can find the archive here, YouTuber Brendan Blaber, Jello Apocalypse,
1.9 million subscribers.
explained his work on the series and his thought process behind the many changes he made to the anime series Lovely Complex.
No. This has been such a big topic recently. Like, I don't get it. I don't know why people wanna, even in writing in Hollywood, I just don't get why people take someone else's craft and change it to their own narrative. It's like, I am the world, I am the center of the world. Everybody should have my view. It's, oh my god.
From Sound Cadence Studios. So this is Jello Apocalypse. Isn't that the guy who made So This Is Basically Ruby? Because that video is actually pretty funny. What a shame that he's making the news now in this manner. Firstly, Blaber was not the individual hired for the job. Instead, he was contracted by writer and voice actor Marissa Lenti to assist them. Sound Cadence CEO Amberly Connors sought to dub the show as cheaply as possible, as she's allegedly a fan of the series. So despite their open contempt for the source material, Lenti was working as the dub writer for free, and Blaber volunteered to help out. Throughout the post, Blaber attempts to justify censorship and changes from the source material, citing transphobic tropes, and his opinion that the main character Risa Koizumi is an actual psychopath and all-over useless freak. What's this say? It is quite unprofessional to openly talk trash about a property you've worked on in the industry. Lenti cannot express any opinions as they have an official relationship with Sound Cadence Studios, Discotech, and Toy Animation. I, however, was a freelancing contractor and do not have any of those things. I am not speaking for Lenti anywhere in this post. Who can say what Lenti thinks? I'm sure I don't know, but I will tell you what I think. And I think that Lovecom is a bad show about Risa Koizumi, an actual psychopath and all over useless freak. Okay, so there's the full.
That is so weird. Why would you even accept all of this? It's like, why would you like take up be so unprofessional and take someone else's work and you're like trying to work on it and translate the script, and then you're like, I hate this, I want to put my own world, I'm going to change this show is bad. What about the fans that like have read this and watched this, or kind of want to watch this in the English translation or the now anime trope, and you're kind of just changing the whole thing? There are fans of this series and they kind of want to see how it is. They don't want to care, they don't care about what you make, care about what they make.
Full quote there from Blaber, apparently. Now, these are just screenshots, and screenshots can be made up, but considering that Discotech Media actually took action against Jello Apocalypse / Blaber for this, it seems like these are actually more likely to be real than not. Continuing though, the biggest point of contention for the dub writers involves Seiko, a trans woman who's introduced early on in the series. Early on, Risa dislikes her, citing some vague preternatural awareness that she's trans. Rather than try and maintain the original script as closely as they could, Blaber and Lenti went on cutting things, changing context, and otherwise altering dialogue from the original translation. He even says that you can watch the English dub with subtitles on to listen to our edits in real time. Let's check out this. The Seiko introductory episode is about Seiko's gender identity, so it's not like we could write it out entirely, but we changed a lot of things to take the edge off. Nobuko's initial dislike of Seiko was changed from I don't know, I don't like her, my trans radar is going off, to being jealous there's another cute girl on campus and not wanting to lose out to a freshman. In the sub, Otani and Risa's end of episode reactions could generously be called confused, but they got the spirit about the whole thing. We rewrote those to be a lot more supportive of Seiko, especially Otani's dialogue, which made it pretty clear he was still kind of disgusted by her. There was even the option to acknowledge that the anime is a product of its time, a 2007 anime based off a manga which ran from 2001 to 2007. Not to excuse the content, but in order to preserve the series as it was for fans of the original. Instead, the changes were made by the writers, and even still, they weren't transparent about it. This bragging post notwithstanding. Instead, Blaber exposes what the industry is doing in regards to these changes, which amounts to nothing. In fact, publishers like Discotech Media, Funimation, and Crunchyroll are allegedly encouraging localizers to do what they want as long as they don't brag about it, possibly why Blaber hit the post or use
That
certain
is a
buzzwords.
shame to hear that.
Once again, they did apparently take action here, but it seems like they allegedly only took action because of the bragging. Like, if the bragging wasn't going on, they would have just let this slide, apparently. Make of that what you will. Let's take a look. Jello then allegedly saying, of note, most anime distributors do tend to ask that you don't advertise changes like making things less transphobic. This is because large swaths of the anime community are racist, /sexist, /transphobic, etc., and will descend upon
Not
a company's
wrong.
social media page for weeks for the strangest things. Discotech added a content warning on one of their discs and got flacked for that, so they're understandably a little skittish now. Funny/Crunchy works like this too. TLDR, most anime distributors don't care if you make things nicer or more gay or add more representation. They just ask that you don't flaunt the changes or use buzzwords. Translation and localization discourse has taken a turn where the content of what's being removed and changed has been placed at the forefront.
I just don't get why the TLDR there. Like, why would you even change the atmosphere of the series, like, to your own view and what you want to do yourself? Like, you don't think that, like, overall, whenever you change the feelings and the acts of like certain individual characters, it kind of changes the full narrative of the show as well. It might not change the full narrative, but it does have like an impact on the full narrative, and I feel like it gives off a different type of vibe. And I don't know, I think that you should most of the time be fully focus on keeping things to the source material and not change things too much. Only time you should change things for localization is whenever there's like religious or things that are super big no-nos in the countries itself. But the West don't really have that many of those, do they? No, I don't think they do. I think it's more like, it depends, it's more like in Asia that you will see those kind of things.
Recent opinion article, we suggested that the real issue at play is that changes in censorship are happening unilaterally and without transparency, no matter how well-intentioned they may be. The centerpiece of the post is when Blaber is sarcastically frustrated that their dub is this good, because he feels that anyone who picks up the show and enjoys it will only do so because of the dub. When discussing his dub in the context of the show, he says, "We made it good. This show sucked." Okay, let's take a look at this one now. Frankly, having the dub come out this good in the end is a little frustrating. And what?
The self pat on the back.
Has fond memories of it and revisits the dub will think, "Wow, it's just as good as I remembered." No, it isn't. We made it good. This show sucked. It's crazy how people will literally censor material and then use the LGBT community as a shield for their corrupt behavior. And the article concludes here. The English dub for Lovely Complex is published.
And you know what the worst part is? That the LGBTQ community gets like so much flack because the people are doing this all the time, that a lot of people that are like gay, bi, whatever, they don't want to be associated with it at all because there's just so much negativity around it. It's just like there's just too many people that are using it as a defense while pushing their own like narrative and views to other people that are just doing their own stuff. It's just tiresome. Nobody likes it.
By Discotech
Nobody likes it at all.
It's unclear what role Lenti played in the changes made to the show's content, but at the very least, it appears they were permissive of the changes made by Blaber. Thanks Scratchpoint for the Twitter post calling attention to the issue. And Scratchpoint also made an update which reads, Discotech released a statement regarding the Lovely Complex dub situation. While dubs are often more loose, blatant rewrites by people who openly despise the source aren't acceptable. However, it's good that they're committed to accurate subs. One of the screenshots provided by Scratchpoint is this one, showing a statement from Discotech Media and Justin Savakis. Justin Savakis, by the way, also founder of Anime News Network, and interestingly enough, has me blocked on Twitter. It seems like he's still upset from years ago when Anime News Network tried to copyright strike my channel and silence me. And then they lost that copyright dispute as Nick Rekieta helped me counter action against them, and we ended up winning.
God.
Especially crazy because even the main Anime News Network account had tweeted about me trying to like say that I was in the wrong or something, to which when we ended up beating them, the CEO had also issued an apology of sorts, saying that he was wrong about the outcome of the dispute, but he still doubled down on trying to say that my video was infringing, even when it wasn't. So yeah, your boy's been going up against corpos for a while. If you haven't considered subscribing
But
yet,
you're still
consider it
winning.
now. I appreciate your support because we got plenty more work to do. Now, let's return to the statements issued by Justin Savakis and Discotech Media in reference to the Jello Apocalypse situation, where Justin Savakis had issued this response regarding concerns about Lovely Complex, although this has apparently since been deleted. Let's take a look at this screenshot of it, and then more on that right after. We are aware of the comments made by a contractor that worked on Lovely Complex. The English version was made with the supervision and approval of the show's original producers. Dubs commonly punch up comedy and smooth over rough patches so that the end product aligns with the show's intended audience and provokes the intended response, and there will always be shades of gray when adopting a work. Anyone expecting exact fealty to Japanese dialogue should be watching the subtitles, which Discotech has always presented with as little alteration as is possible when translating from a very different language. We are deeply disappointed at this individual's lack of professional discretion and will not be working with him in the future. We will continue to work on future projects with an eye towards satisfying as many fans as possible. Thank you for your continued support. Scratchpoint then adding, it appears they'll no longer be working.
So they fired him. Good. I feel like Localizer have been having some big balls recently, putting their own stupid shit into like animes and stuff, while in a time where AI is getting like more and more of a topic. I think they're just ruining it for the other people that are like legit localizers that do their job. Like these weirdos, I hope that they get more caught up and people take a more look into this and start kicking them and firing them out, because they're doing their job bad. You're doing something completely different compared to what you're meant to do. So I guess that like in any other sort of job, you would just get fired. And I'm happy to see that this is what happened there.
Apocalypse in the future. But the reasoning is lack of professional discretion. However, as mentioned as well, that tweet has apparently been deleted. Niche Gamer also writing about that, so let's stick with the theme and take a look at what they have to say. Discotech Media OCD owner Justin Zavakis, and Sound Cadence Studio have all deleted their response to the Lovely Complex dub. The statements were prompted by a post created by Jello Apocalypse, a volunteer contractor who had worked on the dub script for the show. His post was criticized for the hate he had for the source material and his contempt for fans. Shortly after, Discotech Media retweeted an apology from Justin Savakis, saying they were disappointed with the post and would not be working with Jello Apocalypse in the future. You can find a screenshot in the post below. Packer Girl saying, why did, and Justin Savakis' at there, delete this Lovely Complex, and showing the tweets which we already went over, continuing. It's possible that the responses were deleted, as it appears many of the changes Brendan and Jello Blaber bragged about didn't make it into the final cut. However, it appears the door has been opened for Blaber to once again work with Discotech, Media OCD, and Sound Cadence Studios. All three responses were deleted at approximately the same time.
People self-snitch so often. That's because they think they're doing the right thing. They think they're proud. They're proud to take someone else's work and change it completely for their own view. They're proud and they're happy about that. But at the end of the day, this is not what that you are making something for the audience to consume, and the audience doesn't want this. So obviously people don't want to see this. So whenever they self-snitch, they're screwed.
According to Savakis of Media OCD, they were asked to. However, it's unclear who asked them to delete the responses. The original responses were made shortly after fans became aware of the post from Jello Apocalypse. Hopefully this means a more thoughtful response is coming in the near future, rather than them retracting their statement. Dimitri Monroe had also pointed this out, saying, pay close attention to how both localizers and those that defend them are responding to the Discotech situation. They are never actually saying they disagree with Jello's comments. They're saying they're mad that he said the quiet parts out loud. Dimitri including these screenshots, which, as he pointed out, includes corrupt localizers and their defenders, upset at Justin Savakis' statement and the action taken against Jello Apocalypse. It's pretty insane how when anime fans ask for accurate translations, these sort of corrupt individuals will bring out all manner of buzzwords in trying to smear them. Ultimately, it's now unclear, as mentioned, if Discotech and co. are going to stand by their statements or not. However, as Michael Edwards pointed out here, it seems like Jello Apocalypse's changes didn't even make it in anyways. And that seems to be where the situation concludes, at least for now. As always, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this segment, and I look forward to seeing you in the comments, as well as in the next one.
I don't know. I feel like these agendas that people have in localization, it's just like you're not doing the right job. You can do this. You can get your point and views up in an easier way and better way than doing it like this. I think it's just completely wrong. I feel like you're causing more harm than actually good by doing this overall. If you have an agenda and not well-intended goals, be it at least honest with yourself and know that the general public react if you talk about everything. I mean, yeah, if you are doing something like this, expect to have like criticism toward yourself, like, or toward your actions. Yeah, you should at least expect to have some form of reflection coming from the audience that consume the product. I don't know. I think it's like self-explanatory overall. But yeah, this is a big ad for fan subs. I feel like overall, like fan subs are doing way better. Like, why would you need these now? You don't need this stuff anymore. It's getting just getting ridiculous. At least fans kind of appreciate. Fans at least appreciate like the art and the work written. They don't want to deal. They don't want to put their own shit into it. Hi, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe. I'll post videos nearly every day, so if you want to watch any more reactions, feel free to subscribe and I'll see you there.